Real Madrid, and a point is all they need for Ancelotti and Los Blancos to get this done, and they face Espanyol. And Ancelotti, by the way, nearing a top 5 record here. Okay, he could be a manager of winning the title in 5 leagues. And here, as you see the table, if you're watching on YouTube, Real Madrid closing in clearly ahead of everybody else. Commendable for Barcelona to be in that situation. But regardless, Real Madrid, 78 points, by the way. Before we get into it, Jonathan Johnson, Carlo Ancelotti, surely Real Madrid will get this done. Greatest club manager of all time?
I mean, I definitely think he's got a strong argument for being one of the best club managers, certainly of modern times. I mean, there's very few, who can really hold a candle to him. Perhaps a Jose Mourinho in his prime, but no, Ancelotti's definitely one of the elite coaches, and it's really. It's quite nice to see, what's going on with him at the moment, because he had a couple of difficult postings where, you started to sort of ask whether he'd maybe lost his touch a little bit. Bayern Munich, Napoli, Everton, none of them going sort of the way that he planned. And then that unexpected return to Real, and he's suddenly getting what he didn't manage to achieve in the first time around with Real. So happy for him, happy that he's managed to sort of underscore, that top dog reputation in the managerial game. And I think it's, he is, one of a kind.
That's an irrefutable stat. I mean, the fact that he will now have won all 5 of the top European leagues is pretty incredible. And I think it speaks to his ability to adapt to different situations, to different cultures, to different styles of play, and still find ways to have success. Pep Guardiola obviously will be in that conversation, having done it in Spain, Germany, and obviously, and many thought that he couldn't do tiki-taka, like you couldn't play that style in the Premier League, and he's proven that to be quite the opposite. So he should be in the conversation. Sir Alex Ferguson, more of a, did it with Aberdeen, which was not easy, and actually won a European title with Aberdeen, and then went to Manchester United, and obviously his glittering record speaks for itself. But the fact that Ancelotti went around Europe and did it is quite impressive. Now, obviously, very similar to Pep, he's inherited some amazing teams and had some money to spend on some players. And when we saw him, this is kind of what we wanted from Pep too. Like, can he do it with a mid-table team that kind of struggles a little bit? And Ancelotti couldn't really do it with Everton, So you just kind of wonder.
I mean, he was kind of on his way, but then he was like, "Well, Real Madrid were holding like a piece of candy," and Carlo Ancelotti was like, "Okay, I'll go here."
Everton, obviously, in a lot worse situation when they got Rafa Benitez and now Frank Lampard in. But when with regard to Ancelotti, yes, but he wasn't going to go like scrape for titles or any of that type of stuff. So I don't know. It's interesting. It's an interesting conversation to have. I know we have games to break down, but fair play to Carlo. He's a fantastic manager, and obviously he's done it at the Champions League level as well.
Yeah, no, I mean, listen, this is why we do this show. We like to keep the conversation going, because I did have one intriguing question as well. Back to you, Jimmy and JJ. You chime in. Des Norris nicely done on bringing it up, but Pep Guardiola, we have been talking about him, right? Man City, Bayern Munich, Barcelona. Could he keep going? How long do you see him in Man City, do you think?
Oh, I think he's going to be done in a couple seasons, maybe less than that, maybe 1 or 2. I think it depends on whether he wins the Champions League. The guy still hasn't won a Champions League without Messi in his team. So it feels like he's on a mission to prove that he can do it. And once that's accomplished, and he's definitely got the players, and he's now have a lead in the semifinal to help that out. I don't know. I feel like he wants to be potentially a national team manager. That might be his next step, but maybe it's too soon for that.
I mean, his Catalan blood might never really, let him take care of Spain.
I mean, I don't see him going to France. I don't really see him going to France. I don't think it's competitive enough.
You know what I think?
I think
he likes New York City a lot.
He does.
I'm just saying.
They got to get out of a baseball stadium, and then I think.
Look at Jimmy trying to get a rise out of me. You mean that Pep wouldn't like to reunite with Messi and try and win the Champions League next season? Is that what you're telling me?
I want Pep to do it with Saint Etienne, okay? And if he can do it with Saint Etienne, then maybe I'll.
Would you like that? Would you like that, Jonathan Johnson? Pep Guardiola and Manchester.
I mean, who wouldn't like Pep coming to play in their backyard and, taking over their team and trying to lead them to continental glory. Do I ever think it'll happen? I mean, at some point in the future, maybe, given Pep's links with Qatar, but I don't think it'll be in time to win the Champions League with Messi. I don't think it'll be his next move either. I mean, if he is going to target that the top 5, he's going to have to make a return to Italy, where obviously he spent some of his playing career as well. So that might be the next step for him, but there's no obvious landing spot for him there either. I don't see where would be the clear place for him to go next, outside of the countries he's already coached in.
I really hope he just decides to pick like a League One team or something. That would be incredible.
Well, he fielded questions about that recently when he was talking about Bielsa, and he said, if I had been in charge of Leeds, they'd probably still be in the Championship or something.
Yeah, that's true. It is true. It's true. Yeah, Brescia for the Scudetto. That's right. That's right. Well, I mean, listen, let's move on, because Real Madrid's winning this, right? Yes, Jimmy?
Oh, yeah, for sure. And I think what's interesting is that they only need a point. And for them to do it at home in front of their fans, I think it's important. Done. I think they're going to rotate the squad, though. I think you could see Lunin in goal. He's only playing the Copa del Rey for them. Vasquez will probably come in. Vallejo. Like, there's a couple players that are younger that don't get a lot of minutes. But now that with Rudiger coming in, like Vallejo now has to play well. Like, these guys have to play well to either stick with the team for next year or put themselves in the shop window so they can make a move. Rafa Marin is a fantastic young player, probably the best young player in their academy right now. Then you got Camavinga is going to get some valuable minutes. Danny Onions, also known as Arsenal legend Danny Ceballos. You got Isco, maybe his last season with Madrid. And then Rodrigo, Bale. I could see Bale getting a start here in Asensio. So they're going to have talent on the field to go out and get a result. And all they need is a draw. And I think they're going to do it despite losing to Espanyol earlier in the season, which was the first time that had happened in like 25 years or something, which was the same week they lost to Sheriff at home, if you remember.
So give me the prediction.
I'll say 3-1 with a young. If that team rolls out, there obviously won't be as much familiarity. Raúl de Tomás has been revelation for Espanyol this season, scoring a bunch of goals, not just this season, but over the years. And I could see them getting one, but I think Madrid will want some revenge. 3-1 Madrid.
Yeah, it's going to be Ceballos, Camavinga, Isco in the midfield. That's what
yeah.
JJ, what do you think? They take care of business here, don't they?
Absolutely, I expect them to. I also think that Ancelotti will, try to be smart in his management here, keep as many players fresh as possible for the City game, given that they still have quite a good chance. I certainly fancy Real to score at least once against City next week at the Bernabeu. So I think as well, it'll be really interesting to me. I know where I was banging on about his importance when we were doing the post-match pod, but I think he needs to give Casemiro a few minutes at some point in this game, probably towards the end, maybe like a 20-minute run out if he can, because Casemiro's return to the starting 11 for that clash with City will be absolutely vital. I think they get the win here. I'd say 2-0, but I think it's all about preparing the players for that clash with City.